Well, good evening, everyone. Special edition tonight of Bowling with the Pfeff. You've got League Night in the Valley, and over there, yeah, I'm pointing the right way. It's kind of like, I got to point left to get right, is Kyle Blaese live at Electric City Lanes in Kaukauna, Wisconsin, listening to his dance jams ahead of League tonight. How you doing, Kyle?
Not much there, Andy. I'm doing actually perfect here. It's a nice chilly night here in Kaukauna, Wisconsin.
Electric City Lanes. Give me the lay of the land. What are we talking about as far as number of lanes there, wood or synthetic? What's it like at that place?
All right. This is a small 8-lane center. It's got the AMF boutique lanes in it. It was newly reopened under ownership of Lori Hurst and Jason Hurst, and it was opened up in 2017. And it's just a small 8-lane center that kind of resurrected the uptown area of Kaukauna, Wisconsin.
Okay. And is Kaukauna known as the Electric City?
Yeah, there's league nights on Mondays, and it's a short 6-team league due to the COVID stuff going on here, and it's
do people know Kaukauna as the Electric City?
The water tower as you drive in off of 41 coming into town here.
Okay, fair enough. So
pretty small.
So yeah,
town of 10,000 people.
Okay. Now, you were saying small house, kind of, small numbers because of COVID. How many teams are in this league?
But it's more. Go ahead.
Did you catch that?
There are 6 teams of 4 in this league. Kind of lost the other 2 for the full house of 8 lanes. And now we're back down to 6.
Ah, okay.
I caught that.
You caught that. All right. It's taken me a little while to get across the state with the audio here, but I think it's going to work. The Holy Name League. How long have you been in that league?
I did catch that. Perfect. I've been in this league for the last 3 years after a hiatus of a couple years. But this league actually dates back to 1994 and actually Restream. And then this house was actually renovated to make this nice little view that we got of 8 lanes of boutique style lanes.
Okay. And when
I don't
you
know
say
if you're familiar with boutique style, or kind of white arrows to the normal bowler, you see like the brown, black arrows, 2 lanes, I guess you want to call it. So.
Okay.
What's that?
Does it? Is that something that you've had to get used to, or is it just, hey, it is what it is, and we're just going to let her rip out there no matter what color the arrows and score markers are?
Right, I can't see anymore. Anyways, I bowl on the wrong side, as you may know. So, anyways, it is actually, it's actually a nice. It's a different topography than you see in most places, but it's kind of a cool little setting that we have going on here in Kaukauna.
Sure. What differences do you find in the places that you bowl leagues? I mean, you bowl quite a few nights a week, it looks like.
I actually bowl here tonight, and then I bowl every other weekend across town in Kimberly, Wisconsin. So, I mean, every house has got their own little niche on what they put down for league shot and how scores come and how some can be easier than others. And I'm sure everyone in the bowling community knows that. So
Oh, yeah.
that's why I always think average is relative. So
Sure. This is an episode where we're going to do a little talking
hopefully,
about tournaments.
I mean, hope you know what I'm talking about there. I mean, I'm sure you do.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to talk a little bit about tournaments. We've been talking with Kyle about league, but he also competes in the Wolf River Scratch Bowlers Tour events. It looks like, did you bowl in the doubles tournament at Willow this past weekend? And if so, what was that like for you?
That was a very demanding pattern that Matt Hayes up in Green Bay. Cut was really saw the result was right around minus 52, which is usually unheard of on normal when you think of a tournament. So it was more of a demanding scores. Fortunately, my partner and I, we were able to qualify fourth and run our way up through the step ladder or the bracket format. And 1 to 2 a lot of very talented people from the Fox Valley area as well. So it was a fun time.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Was that any different because of any restrictions for COVID or anything that the center put in place?
Most players there were pretty much distanced. Masks when you're in bowling, most people don't wear them, but obviously they are cautious, or whatever you want to call that. And I don't think impacted the moment of entries ever there because they did have 48 teams of 96 people in green on a Saturday afternoon. That was a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, I'll say. What do you think makes a good tournament? When I got back into bowling, I started doing some in Minnesota. It really is the best. Hopefully people who have, who are bowling competitively have them nearby. But, what in your mind, makes a tournament a good one? Maybe one that you'd come back to the next time around if there is, if it is an annual thing.
I would say mainly be the tournament director and how he promotes it. I mean, if there's no promotions, there's no tournament. So the more can, obviously the added money is always interests a lot of people making more or whatever, but I just think it's just the reputation of the tournament director. And if they're known to put up good tournaments around the state or in the area, that will dictate on how many entries you get.
Sure.
Whether it be in a handicap tournament or a scratch tournament.
Yeah, for sure. How about the Wolf River events? How what makes you come back to those? I mean, I've kind of dipped my toe in that whole thing. I bowled one of them. We'll just say it wasn't profitable. But you've been bowling in quite a few.
Really good job with those, and he's had some astronomical numbers this year, even putting in double shifts on the 8-lane centers, which in the past he wouldn't fill those up, and I think it's pretty incredible he can do that considering of this. It is a pretty nice get together on a weekend when things are limited around the whole state. So
No doubt. Let's talk about your bowling story. How you got started. When did you start bowling, and what's kind of behind that? What got you into the sport of bowling?
I'm going to say it was just something to do with 9-10 years old. I mean, for those times it was just recreational. It's something to do on a Saturday to hang out with your, third grade friends, fourth grade friends. And back then, obviously, 8 in the morning on a Saturday, you wouldn't think about doing that these days, but it was very popular back then. And then as far as competitively, I mean, I really wouldn't say really got into it until probably my freshman year of college when I met people like you and a lot of other people around the great state of Wisconsin.
Yeah. You went to UW-Oshkosh. Why did you go there? Was it something academic? Was it to bowl on the team? Was one kind of an added benefit of the other?
Excuse me there. It was convenience of getting a college degree, and it was actually close by to my hometown of Little Chute, and just saw a meeting there once to go bowling club or whatnot, and then from there on, it just was a fun thing to do in the fall, late fall and early January, February, with a lot of the other teams in the state of Wisconsin.
Sure. What do you remember about, hooking on with that team and deciding maybe who would go to events or things like that? I mean, that was kind of different at the two universities I went to. Was it pretty straightforward on that team?
Well, I want to say, when I was a freshman there, you might have heard of the name Adam Brock. He was pretty much our team captain slash decider of who gets to go to most events. But we did some on-site qualifying at the university when they did have bowling lanes, which I'm sure you're familiar of Reeve Memorial Union and the great 10-lane center of the cavern.
Yeah. Yeah, that was quite a place. Tell us about that place. I mean, I had some pretty decent success there over the years, but you bowled there a lot more than I did. What should people know about that place if they never had the pleasure of bowling there?
In the state of Wisconsin college system that had stadium seating with an overlook so that people that were spectators could actually watch people come down and watch people bowl from all over the state in the college scene, and a few other schools from outside of Wisconsin. I think Winona State and it was a pretty nice place. And you know about the Titan Invite, which was one of your favorite tournaments as well, I believe.
Yeah, you got that right. um, Tell me about your best college bowling memories. What do you remember from back then? You said that was kind of your introduction to competition. You had, when you get on a team like that, obviously you have different personalities. You all kind of have to mesh together to succeed. What will you always take with you from those years?
I would say mainly it'd be just the people that I've met. I mean, people like you, people like Tony Boss, Brian Murawski, the rest of the Milwaukee game. Then you go to Madison, you got like Scott Erickson. You have, I think, so many names I can think of. You got Parkside with Jason Fink and all those people, Jim Caps. I mean, just a unlimited number of people that you know. And obviously, you had the wise guys from Oshkosh, with like the Scott and Eyes and the JJ Shoes, amongst others.
Yeah. We've seen some of those guys. It's funny you bring up some of those names. A lot of those guys have become members of the Facebook group. So it's kind of cool to see those names pop up and make little comments about things like this. The conference has changed over the years, and you're going to have to forgive my ignorance. I'm not incredibly familiar with how they do things now. I've got a guest coming on in a couple weeks here who might be able to give us a little more insight into that. But back then, we would all pile into a dorm called Gruenhagen, which is the inspiration for the graphic for this show. And it was pretty crazy. I asked Sam Lofquist, one of my first guests on this show, if his Eau Claire team had stayed at Gruenhagen, and he didn't know what I was talking about. So the landscape has changed a little bit from the days that we were bowling in college, but for those conference tournaments, we all bowled, like you said, at places like Reeve Memorial Union, Union Houses in Madison and Milwaukee and Eau Claire. What was different about bowling in those Union bowling centers than bowling at places like Electric City?
I would say the difficulty. I mean, if you look at our conference records, average or whatnot, through our 4 years going in the Union setting, not when they brought in the different shots. Going in Madison, 50, very good. You'll see scores out there that you would never heard of. I think a couple of our bowlers that first time going in the Union setting, I think I remember somebody that had a 113 out there. He's probably watching right now too, and he's probably just laughing it up right now.
Yeah, but like you said, that happened. That kind of thing happened. All right, so you get out of college, you've got some,
Right.
some competitive situations under your belt, and you start bowling adult leagues. You start bowling tournaments. What did you take from those days and kind of put toward, bowling competitively in the years after college?
Well, going after college, obviously, a lot of great people, and then obviously the first couple times you meet up against them, like, oh my God, bowling this person right now, and you know all their accolades and how good they've been. I was fortunate enough to bowl some of these people throughout my last 24 years or so, and you're like, you compete against them. Sometimes you beat them, sometimes you don't. Help a lot too. I mean, coming out of college, you got, some people have certain attitudes coming out of college, and as you get older, things just kind of calm down for me, anyways. And then, along with the people you meet in college, you also get to meet all these older people in the state too. I mean, not call them old, but I think if college ever been there for me, I probably wouldn't know much about these tournaments, or I wouldn't know how talented a lot of these people are in this.
Sure. You start bowling in these leagues, bowling in tournaments. You end up, competing, doing better, improving to the point where you start averaging 230s, 240s. What changed between, those early years and several years later when you start putting up those big numbers?
I just want to say, just learning more than college. College when I went, it was more of a time with the group of people I was with, and then as years go on, you get big scores, and then you just have that confidence level in your head. For league, I'm talking. I mean, tournaments are a little bit different setting, but then you get one big score, and it comes with another, and sometimes they come in big streaks. And, I mean, I was lucky enough. You're showing some of my bowling info, which I mean, to the north, and they're saying, "Wow, why aren't you on TV? Why aren't you doing this stuff?" And I'm like, "Nah, you don't really get that." I mean, to me, I think averages are just a number, but some of these big series, I mean, I'm kind of proud of.
Yeah. Tell me about the first time you shot a 300, the first time you shot an 800. What was that like?
Oh, shaking a little bit. You get your arm shaking, your knees shaking a little bit. I mean, 20 years ago, a 300 wasn't like you have 5 in one night. I mean, back then it was like every couple of weeks or something like that. And nowadays they're just coming left and right. And I mean, it's still accomplished to get one of those, a big 800 or your first 300 or whatnot. But the game has changed these early 2000s.
Yeah. You've had honor scores at that house at Electric City Lanes. You've had looks like a couple of 300s here in the last year or two. What's it like when, in a place that small? Do you see people kind of gathering around, or is it a deal where, like you said, they happen so often that people kind of leave it alone and it's not a huge deal?
I guess it depends on the league you're in and the house you're in. Obviously, cool when they see someone perfect a game. Meanwhile, you go to some other house where you're seeing big scores and right every other day. It's not as big of a specter thing. I mean, they'll give you a pat on the back, and whatnot. But a place like this, obviously, they take pride in watching that happen around here. So.
Sure. So you have league tonight. What kind of equipment are you going to be throwing tonight? Do you have any clue of what you're going to start with, or what you have in your arsenal?
My league arsenal is really not that spectacular. It's got stuff that's got 500, so games on everything, and stuff that's been used and abused a long time. Because it's just a night out with my friends that I bowl with. So.
Sure. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the future. What what do you see yourself doing in another year, 2 more years, 5 more years? Do you keep up with bowling several nights a week in tournaments? Do you break into I don't know, higher level tournaments, PBA regionals, stuff in further away places, or do you just keep doing what you're doing?
I think 5 years down the road, I keep doing what I'm doing. Maybe just one night. Still do the state. That's always a fun time with 10 or 9 other people. I mean, those are the fun tournaments, I think, for me. As far as regionals, I've been there at 4 or 5 of them. Got lucky to catch a couple of them. But, I mean, it's always fun competing with people that compete with people that you grow up, you see them on TV and stuff like that. But there's a reason why those people are there, and I'm here.
Fair enough. Why don't we go with our challenge that we do every week? We call it Off the Sheet, where you, tell us about another bowler, maybe someone who's nearby, someone who you know well, someone you don't know all that well, that you think would be good on this show. Why should they be on this show, and who are they?
I think one person who's watching tonight should be on the show would be JJ Shu. Simply for fact because he's in the South now and an accent, and some of his friends see him on the local Wisconsin podcast here. Kick on it. That'd be one person that I would suggest on this.
Yeah, absolutely. He was one of your college teammates. What's he like to bowl with?
Like I said, I haven't bowled him in over 10 years, simply for the fact because he lives in Carolinas right now. So he's miles away from us right now, but I think he still bowls recreationally down there. But as far as this area,
well,
there's
JJ,
a couple other people that probably could benefit from me on here. I mean,
nope. You were saying there's a couple other people locally.
yeah, I would think any other old college people. I mean, get some people from Milwaukee here, get Morosky up here, get Tony Buss on here. I think it'd be kind of cool. Maybe have one of the local pro shop guys get on here with you to show him, tell him the people that he deals with. I mean, Tim Matthew and Appleton at Buller's Edge Pro Shop. He's a real student of the game and knows a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will try and get the message to those folks and get them to be on the show. I want to wish you luck tonight. Of course, it's league night. You always want to pull a big number, so we're definitely pulling for you. You're going to have to let us know how you end up doing it.
To win by 1 point. Down by 7. Can't make a single one.
I blew that, Andy. Thanks for your time tonight.
You bet. Thanks for being on the show. Kyle Blaese from Kaukauna, Wisconsin. Thanks for being on Bowling with the Pfeff. Again, if you'd like to be on Bowling with the Pfeff, it's really easy. Just go to bit.ly/bowlingwiththepfeff, fill out the form, and let us know a little bit about your bowling story. We'd love to have you on as a guest, like Kyle and some of the other folks who have been on the program. Again, on this YouTube channel, we've got 6 different episodes that we've had in the past, and they're all available for replay viewing. So take a look, leave a comment, let us know what you think, and be sure and hit that subscribe button so you can be the first to know when we have, live videos and recorded videos and things like that. Our next live stream will be next Tuesday. So hopefully we will see you then. Until then, I'm Andrew Pfeffer. Be just and fear not. We'll see you soon.